5 things that every new drawer needs to know. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, I'm a 22-year-old charcoal and graphite artist that specializes in hyperrealism with a little bit of surrealism. Basically, I try to make things look exactly like photographs, but at the same time, they can't really be photographs. I've won dozens of international and national awards for my work, and I'm here to teach you guys everything that I know. So if you want to learn how to draw like this, make sure to subscribe. Today, I want to go over 5 things that I think every newer drawer should know. Basically, just things that I wish someone told me way earlier than I figured them out on my own in my career. So if you're an artist that's trying to up their game in drawing with charcoal and graphite, here are 5 things that you should definitely know. Also, I have a list of like 100 of these, so if you enjoy this content and if you want to know more tips and tricks, let me know down in the comments. Number 1. Graphite goes on top of charcoal. Charcoal cannot go on top of graphite. There aren't too many rules whenever you're trying to use both graphite and charcoal at the same time. They complement each other really well. And if you want your drawings to be super detailed, you're gonna have to use both. Charcoal is used for the base of everything, all the big bulkier stuff, and graphite is used for all the little detailed stuff. However, they have to go in that order. You have to put the charcoal down first to get all the big bulkier stuff out of the way, such as the base, tones, all that type of stuff. And then you put the details on top of that with the graphite. Because of how soft charcoal is, it's really easy to take that harder graphite and to put it on top. However, graphite is much harder and has that shine to it. And if you put that down first, taking something as soft and delicate as charcoal and trying to layer it on top is next to impossible. It just really can't be done successfully, so don't bother. Number 2, the grid method is not cheating and one of the most useful ways to make your drawing proportionally accurate. I get people in the comments saying all the time, "Oh, you're using the grid method. Are you tracing? That's cheating." The grid method is not cheating. The grid method actually dates back to ancient Egypt. It is used by so many major, big professional artists. And honestly, I think it's the only way to go when trying to do your initial sketch. It's just a really smart, practical way to kind of have an idea of where proportions are on your paper in reference to the reference. I've been using the grid method ever since I learned it in high school and I haven't looked back. I even use it for my drawings right now, like this one right here. You probably can't see it from there, but I actually have a 1" by 1" grid on the paper. Also, is there really such thing as cheating when trying to make art? I guess if you tell people you're not tracing and you are, I guess that would be considered cheating, but I don't know. It's a weird mentality. Art is just creating whatever you want and however you want it. And if there's a method to do it super efficiently, then go for it. Also, if you want to know how I make my grid and how to make it as easy and efficient as possible, I made a tutorial about it, so I'll put it up here somewhere. Number 3, mistakes happen every single day. Yes, I will be the first to admit that I make mistakes on my drawings literally every single day. This drawing behind me has a million mistakes and that's okay. I know hyperrealism is fixated on perfection and trying to achieve 1-to-1 exact replication, but honestly, that's just impossible. And I tell people all the time, the final step to a drawing is accepting that it's not going to be perfect. But the great thing is that because everything is so detailed and there's so much to look at with hyperrealistic pieces, it's almost impossible to pinpoint where these mistakes are. I always say the more detailed it is, the better, because you can hide mistakes, you can make things up as you go, you can just have fun with the detail. So even though, yes, the end goal is to get perfection with replicating a photograph, it's really never going to happen, and mistakes happen all the time. Encourage them, learn from them, learn to adapt and kind of blend them in and add character to your piece, because at the end of the day, you don't really want it to be 1-to-1 to the reference. You want it to be yours. Number 4, which kind of goes with number 3, and that's erasers aren't just for mistakes. I know growing up using a number 2 pencil, the eraser was for making a mistake, having to erase and go over again. However, in hyperrealism and just realism in general, erasers are arguably the number 1 tool to use for making details. I use so many different types of erasers to make highlights and little tiny details you can barely see. If you watch any of my tutorials and look at all the tools in the tools segment, you'll quickly see just how important they are. There's the mono eraser, the Perfection 7056, the electric, the kneaded. If you try to do all your detailing with just pencils, just the darks, you're gonna have a really tough time, especially getting those highlighted areas. So get that stereotype out of your mind. Erasers aren't just for mistakes. They're one of the most useful categories of tools. If you wanna see specifically how I use them, go check out any of my tutorials and you'll quickly see just how important they are. And number 5, last but not least, make sure to time track your hours. If you don't know what time tracking is, it's basically just recording how many hours, how long you've been working on a piece. Now, maybe in the beginning of your art career, you don't think this is that useful, but I promise you it is one of the best habits you you can get into doing. Not only is it useful to know how long a piece takes you to complete, but let's say you're doing a piece for a client and you want to know how much should I charge for it. Well, if you know how many hours it took you, you can go by an hourly rate, which makes it really easy to give them a price estimate. Time tracking is good for everyone that's interested in the piece and is good for the artist. You're probably thinking it's the least important out of these 5, but honestly, it might be the most important. I wish I started time tracking sooner. I look back at drawings that I really struggled with, and I really wish I could know how long they took me. And I have people coming up to me saying, hey, I want to buy this piece from you. Or they're like, hey, I'd like a price estimate on how long this drawing would take. It's very similar to this one, so how long did that take you? So I can kind of know what to expect. And because I didn't time track, I really don't know what to tell them. There are a ton of different programs you can use to time track that have a lot of different features, but honestly, I just use a piece of paper. Here's my piece of paper for the drawing I'm working on right now. Literally hours, and then every day when I'm done, I will jot down how many hours I worked. Right now I'm at 124. And because this drawing is going to take me about 2 months to complete, if I didn't time track every single day, I have no idea where I'm at hour-wise. There you have it, 5 things that I think every beginner drawer needs to know. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. I have literally probably over 100 more points that I can tell you, so I can make a couple more of these. If you want to see daily content from me, go follow my Instagram and my TikTok. If you want to get all content 1 week early and also get one-on-one feedback from me, head over to my Patreon. If you're interested in limited edition prints of my original work, you can head over to my shop. And if you enjoy my content and you want to stick around and help support me, make sure to like and subscribe. It means the world. And in the meantime, I'll get the next 5 tips ready. Appreciate you being here, and hopefully we see you soon.